Hey everybody, what's going on? Eric here with Switch Adapted Toys, and today I'm going to be showing you how to switch adapt the Dance N Rescue Spidey. What I mean by switch adapt is we are going to basically take this toy apart and essentially rewire it to bypass a couple of his buttons. And by doing so, we'll be able to plug in an external accessibility switch. So for children with disabilities that might lack the fine motor control to press and operate the toy normally, they'll be able to use an external switch, which can be much larger and kind of tailored to their needs so that they can still play and interact with this toy. So that's what we do here at Switch Adapted Toys. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and our mission is to make play possible for kiddos of all abilities. We do that by creating how-to videos like this one, as well as we have files to 3D print your own switch button. And everything is available for free on our website, www.switchtoys.org. And I just want to take a second and say thank you to all of our supporters and all of our donors who have contributed to Switch Adapted Toys. We really can't make these resources without your help, so from the bottom of our heart, thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Spider-Man's hat pops off, and there's actually a button underneath his head. Now, I'm going to get him apart, but I'm not too concerned about the button in his head because essentially his head is kind of like an accessibility button. Once I get it open, we'll see how difficult it will be to actually adapt the button in the head. But I'm thinking that might just be good enough. I mean, it's basically the size of our 3D printed switch button. So I'm going to kind of mainly focus on his chest plate here. But we'll see. I'll get it open. We'll figure it out and go from there. So I'll take a second and show you what Spider-Man does. If I press the button on his chest, he'll kind of flare his arms and dance. And he'll take off on you. He actually goes for a long time. So if you've got a button plugged into it, it's probably going to end up kind of dragging your switch away. I was kind of surprised at how long he runs for and how much of a distance it'll travel. So just keep that in mind. This probably isn't a great toy to like play on a desk like this because it'll fall off pretty quick. All right, so let's go ahead and just take his helmet off and this little water off. And we're going to turn the toy over and remove the screws on the back of the toy. I'm going to start by his chest plate here. But it looks like in order to get that off, I might have to unscrew the head as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and get them both off. All right, so with those screws removed, let's see if we can kind of separate the two halves of the toy. And there's two more screws here in the neck that we need to remove. So here's the circuit board that connects the button on the front, and there's two screws that hold it down. I'm just going to remove those two screws. All right, so you can see here, now I've got his buttons exposed. And on the circuit board, there are two little leads that the wires connect to the circuit board. That's where we're going to solder our headphone jack wires to. We're basically just going to solder directly to those 2 points. So really easy place to solder to, which is great. But now we need to kind of think about where our wires are going to go. So we need to drill a hole in the back of the toy. For the head, there's plenty of room in the back of the head. I'll just drill a hole right through the back, make sure I'm not hitting any of the components in there, but that will let me get to this circuit board. All right, so for his body, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole right here kind of in his ribs. That will allow me to kind of fish the wire out through here and kind of stay away from the gears, but still get to his chest circuit board. So that's the plan. I'm going to get a drill bit with the same size diameter of my headphone jack wire, and I'm going to go ahead and drill those two holes. All right, so let's talk a second about your headphone jacks. I really recommend that you find a mono headphone jack. You'll know it's mono because it'll just have two wires inside. Mono headphone jacks make adapting toys so much easier. Technically, you can use a stereo headphone jack, but you need to kind of wire it up a certain way so that it will work with all switches. And it's a little confusing to find out. But mono headphone jacks. They just have 2 wires, and so I'm just going to solder my 2 wires to those 2 points. It makes things so much easier. We do sell mono headphone jack wires on our website. If you're having trouble finding them, they are a little bit harder to find. So you can pick them up there or Amazon or wherever, but I really encourage you to find mono jacks. They make things so much easier. I'm just going to go ahead and slip my headphone jack wire through the holes that I drilled. And the first thing that I like to do is I like to get a little bit of solder on the tips of my wires. What I'm looking for is just kind of like a little ball. That way when I go to solder it to the circuit board, I just have my solder there, and it just makes things a lot easier. So I'm just going to basically bring my soldering iron in to heat up the wire and bring in my solder, and the solder is basically just a metal that will melt and conduct electricity really easily. And I'm just looking for like a ball, just like that. And I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. There we go. And while I'm here, I'm just going to go ahead and do the other wire as well. Don't let this part intimidate you. It's really not that hard. Just be careful you're not touching the soldering iron. Do this in a well-ventilated room, which unfortunately I'm not right now. Another thing I should probably note is that you want to find lead-free solder. Anytime you're dealing with toys, it's really important that you use lead-free solder. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the head. I'm going to use some flux paste and just kind of apply it to those 2 leads. This comes in a lot of different form factors. Comes in a syringe like this, which is kind of the way I prefer it. Comes in a tube. Basically, it just helps the solder flow a little bit better. So it's not necessary, but it is helpful. So now all I'm going to do is just reheat the ball of solder and get it to stick to those points. Now what's important is that you don't have solder kind of crossing over from one point to another. There we go, just like that. And you can kind of give your wires a little bit of a tug and just make sure that they're firmly attached. So that's the head. Now let's switch over to the chest. Again, I'm going to use a little bit of flux. And now I'm going to just reheat the ball of solder. Get it to stick to the lead. There we go. Doesn't take much. If your soldering iron is good and hot. All right, there we go. You can see my solder is not touching, and we'll test it here in a second. All right, so before we go ahead and put everything back together, it's a good idea to test and just make sure that everything works. Now these arms are going to kind of flare around here once I hit this button, so I'm going to try to make sure I don't get any wires kind of caught up in any of the gears. I've plugged in one of our 3D printed switch buttons. You can find the files on our website, and I'm going to make sure he's turned on, which is important. And let's give it a test.
Time to fight that fire!
There we go. When I did that, the arms completely fell off in the gears, so I'll show you how to put those back on once we're ready to put it all back together. Let's go ahead and test out the other button.
Do the Spidey!
There we go. Alright, so now all we need to do is put it back together. So I'm going to re-secure the circuit board in his chest. Alright, so let's go ahead and screw in the circuit board in the chest. And one thing we always want to do is we want to prevent a child from being able to pull on these cords and disconnecting our connections or straining the connections. So what I like to do is I like to use a small zip tie. I'm just going to kind of put this together a little bit just so I have an idea of how much slack goes in there. And now I'm going to put a zip tie around the wire on the inside of the toy. And I'm placing it in an area that will basically engage with the side of the toy because the zip tie won't be able to fit through the hole that we drilled. But I want to make sure it engages before it strains the connections. Okay, so I'm cinching it down really tight. I find the smaller the zip tie, the better. And I'm going to cut off the extra zip tie. And for a little extra security, I like to put a little CA glue or super glue kind of around that zip tie just to kind of lock it into place. And if you have some, you can use some activator spray. And they'll basically instantly dry that super glue. Okay, so now this cord can't fit through that hole, protects our connections. We need to do the same thing for the head. And I don't think I'm going to need as much slack in here, but if there is a little extra slack, there's plenty of room in this head. It really shouldn't be a problem. So I'm just going to put it around the wire, cinch it down here. There we go. Cut off the extra and glue it. Alright, so now we can put it all back together. I put the arms back on, but all you want to make sure is that the white piece, the little geared teeth, are facing in, and that you've got his arms oriented in the right spot. Now I'm going to pull some of the slack for the headphone jack wire just to make it a little bit easier. I might actually take off this arm too for a second so I can get his chest plate around. Let's get his arm back on, get his front on. Now I can kind of pull out some of the slack. And get his back together. Okay, I'm gonna just throw a screw in there just so that it doesn't pop off on me. So now I'm gonna make sure I get this button put back into place. And then there's a little slot in here for the circuit board. All right, so one thing that I've found out is that these points on the circuit board, they actually kind of bump into this when you actually put the toy back together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just snip off just the end of this just to make a little bit more room for those parts. Now this can fit in there without it hitting, which is a little hard to see. But so let's put the button back on. Fit the head back on. Now we can go ahead and screw in the screws in the head, and they take the little screws. Alright, so another thing to know about the head is that if you've got the toy in try me mode, the head button doesn't work. I was scratching my head trying to figure out why it wasn't working. It was because it was in try me mode. So make sure your toy is fully on. So let's go ahead and plug in a button and just make sure that it still works after we've got everything put back together. There we go.
Great work, team. Way to get that fire out.
And let's go ahead and test the other button.
Do the Spidey.
There we go. All right, so that's basically it. It's a pretty straightforward toy to adapt, besides the kind of oddities in his head there. But it's nice that they've got those circuit boards that make it really easy to solder to. So pretty straightforward. I think the head button it's worth doing. I mean, the button up here still works. So as long as you don't mind having another cord hanging out the back, I think it's worth doing the head. But anyway, if you like this video or if you found it helpful, make sure you hit the like button and hit subscribe to stay up to date on all our latest videos. Switch Adapted Toys is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and our mission is to make play possible for kiddos of all abilities. If you want to find out more about Switch Adapted Toys, download PDF manuals of the toys, get links to all of our videos. You could 3D print your own Switch button. The files are available there for free. Check us out, www.switchtoys.org. Lastly, if you're interested in a Switch Adapted toy, but doing it yourself isn't your thing, we've got you covered. We've got an online shop where we sell pre-adapted toys that are ready to play with. So, our mission, our goal is to teach people how to do it themselves, but we realize that might not be everyone's cup of tea. So we want to make sure that these toys are accessible and affordable. So check out our website. You can also pick up our 3D printed Switch buttons. I think you're really going to like them. They are a quarter, probably less than a quarter of a price of a standard Switch, and they're honestly really, really good. So check those out. Check out our website. Thanks for watching this video. I'm Eric with Switch Adapted Toys, and we'll see you next time.
Switch, adapted toys, making play possible.